What's up, SMP world?
What's up, SMP world?
So today is June 10th, 2025, and I drove all the way down to see Chris Herrera at the Art of SMP. What's up, Chris?
What's going on, Joey Dattie? I'm happy to be here.
I'm happy to get a tour of your studio. It's a beautiful place. I mean, you've really brought the industry up these past couple of years. So I've met you a few times. I met you in Phoenix, Arizona, and then I met you again in Vegas. And you and I both coincidentally kind of got introduced to SMP from the same guy. Rest in peace, Dan Urenberg.
Rest in peace, Daniel Urenberg. Before we start, we on camera. We got to do the anti-shine mask.
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
We got to look our best, We got to be camera ready.
And it smells good, people. I'm just going to take the headphones off for this.
When using this, use the Scalp Moisturizer first. And a little bit of the anti-shine to complete the look.
Oh, whenever use this part.
There you go.
Yes. We on there good?
Now we camera ready. Let's get it.
I like that it smells good. Was that your idea? To make sure that it smelled good? Makes a big difference, right? So I saw you post, you want to get those new lights. I thought it was funny that you said, basically, does anybody know how to install these custom lights? I don't really want any crackheads doing it. Have you had people try and lie and say they could do something and come in here and waste your time?
Nah, I just wanted somebody who knew what they were doing. I didn't want anybody who just wanted to make a quick dollar. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I just wanted to make sure I hired somebody who knew what they was doing, especially to do work in my office. I don't mind paying more for quality. You know what I'm saying? It's very, very important.
Especially when it comes to your head. You've been on a serious weight loss journey. How much weight you lose and why'd you make the change?
I've lost about, I would say, 115 pounds.
Wow, that's impressive. Yeah. Good for you. So one, were you always a little heavier like as a kid? Or did you just gain weight once you started barbering? How'd that happen?
I would say I've always been, I always struggled with weight loss my whole life. The lowest I remember weighing was like 185 in like 6th grade.
Wow.
So I had to do something about it. I was doing a lot of, when I first got into this industry, I was doing a lot of videos, and when I would look at the videos, I didn't like the person that I would see in the videos, and I was very self-conscious about my weight. I would say I deal with people who are self-conscious about the hair loss. Mine was the weight. I was very self-conscious about my weight, and it messed with me mentally. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that honestly, the only thing we really own in life is our bodies. You know what I'm saying? And a fit body tells a lot about that person, so I had to do something about it, and it was hard, you know what I'm saying? But anybody can do anything they put their mind to. They just got to really want it.
Yeah, and with the body, you have to earn that. I mean, obviously, there's people who can buy implants and stuff like that. You've seen the guy who's trying to be a Ken doll. He's got all these. But earning your body, it makes a big difference because not only do you physically grow, but mentally, right?
That's right.
I mean, when you spend a lot of time in the gym, you just think by yourself and do a lot of self-reflection. It can change your life. So what did you start doing to lose the weight? Did you just start dieting or just like, screw it, I'm going to start working out? What'd you do?
I would say it has to do with the eating. Okay. I started to, meal prep, eat healthy. At first, when I got into this industry, when I would do a client and make a couple $1,000s, I would go out and celebrate. So I would go to a restaurant and be like, hey, we made a couple $1,000s. Let me get 3 appetizers. Let me get 2 meals. Let me get 4 desserts, and I got really big, and yeah.
Nothing wrong with celebrating and eating, but yeah, I can get, my problem is at night. So I can miss lunch, I can miss breakfast, but then at night when I get home, I start eating. I have like 1 cookie and I'm like, I only have 3, but then I eat the whole row. You know what I mean? That's my weakness. Right. Sometimes I'm like, let me just go to sleep. So I stop doing this, and then I wake up next day, I got diarrhea and shit. It's not fun. Not fun. So did you know how to work out? Did you get a trainer? What did you do?
I definitely worked out with a few trainers, went on YouTube. I started having people meal prep for me.
Okay.
But basically I did work out with trainers, but I don't feel like that's how I lost weight. It's 100% what I started eating, changing up my eating 100%.
So what were you eating all the time? Was it
Everything, anything I saw, anything I saw, I ate.
And so what did you change it to?
I try to eat stuff now like, let's say steak, chicken, turkey, salmon, cabbage, broccoli. I do eat a lot of white rice, but just a very small amount. I don't really eat candy. I don't do the sodas. I've never really done that. I don't really do the juices unless I'm drinking natural juices, like just straight that fruit. But besides that, I don't drink. Oh, and I was drinking a lot as well. I feel like that had a lot to do with my weight gain. I don't drink anymore. Occasionally I do, every once in a while, but I don't drink.
Were you drinking heavily, like every day?
I would say I struggled with that for years as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Were you drinking away your feelings, or were you just bored, or what was it? Partying?
Yeah, I would say it was a mixture of everything.
Okay.
It was, it could be just life.
How long did you ever go like a set period of time, like I'm not going to drink for 7 days or 30 days or anything like that?
100%. I would say this week I'm not going to drink this amount of time, or this month, you know what I'm saying? Or honestly, I would, a lot of people don't know, but I'm not really a spiritual person, but I do always pray. And I feel like that helped me a lot with a lot of my accomplishments, and to stop drinking, to stop doing certain things, just to help me grow in life.
Okay. And so when you're praying can also be, I don't know how you do it, but I don't consider myself spiritual either, but I do pray. To me, it's more therapeutic, just to get it out of my brain almost, and like hope, good intentions will come. If I keep working hard, then the things that I'm praying about could come true, but I have to put in the work as well.
Right.
Because I think there's a lot of people who kind of think, well, let me just pray and it'll happen. It's not going to just happen.
Want me to tell you something that I really do and I believe in?
Yes.
The law of attraction. So I meditate. I would say I meditate. I do affirmations, and I add that in there with the praying as well, and that has a lot to do with my success.
Some people might think I'm crazy, but I do affirmations as well, and I do them in the mirror. Like in my early days when I first started my kind of journey, I do them in the mirror like a psychopath, but that's what worked for me,
I wake up in the morning, as soon as I open my eyes, I meditate.
That's good. That's good. I gotta, one of the things I want to stop doing,
and try not to fall asleep.
Do you work out before you come here, or your afternoon?
I have a gym in my basement, so I literally wake up, get coffee, go to my basement, work out, do a lot of stretching. I have a lot of equipment in my basement. I don't really use all of them, but I do, I hit the dumbbells, do a lot of stretching, jump rope, and then I come to work. A few times out of the week, I do boxing.
Okay, nice.
And then
it's a good ass workout.
Yeah, and then I go to the gym as well.
Okay.
So I work out a lot.
Have you done anything with a sauna or cold plunge or steam room?
I seen that you was doing the cold plunge. Everybody tells me to do it, and I want to do it, but I try to get in the shower, and I'm gonna try in the shower, and I get in, and I put my foot in there. I'm like, nah.
Oh, the second I get in, I want to jump out. I hate it. I did 4 minutes this morning, but if I could sell you on anything, I would say get a sauna. If you can afford one in your house, put one in your house. You can probably get one for under $3,000, but it's so worth it because your body releases these things called heat shock proteins. It's just really good for you. I say when I'm in there, I'm sweating the demons out. So all my bad decisions, everything, I'm just sweating it out. And it's static cardio. So it's like my heart rate will go up while I'm in there, almost as if I'm running, but I'm just sitting there sweating my ass off.
I get in a steam room as well and a sauna, not as much as I would like to, but that's something I do like to do. And actually a client of mine bought a sauna, put it in his house, and he sent me the link for it. And then I was like, $5,000, I'm good. I go to the gym. And
they have one there?
They have one there as well.
Okay, yeah. Utilize that, man. Utilize that.
Yeah.
I wanted to bring up something. So shout out to Blends. Shout out to Blends.
Shout out to the Blends Pro team.
Shout out to the Blend. They've been nothing but good to me. The Blends Pro team. I feel like I'm on the Blends Pro team. But in all seriousness,
hey, let's talk.
when I first started my journey of doing this podcast, I'm coming up on 2 years. So I was doing it. I'm obviously paying and funding everything. So eventually I go and I meet with other people and I talk to other people. I'm like, maybe I should try and get sponsors. And you made me cry, Chris, and I'll tell you why. I had reached out to a few people and, you know, everyone was asking me all these questions. They want to know all the analytics. I reached out to you. I said, Chris, you know, I have an opportunity. I want to get a sponsors. I love Blends. I explained everything. And then I just asked, it wasn't a big chunk of money. I was like, if you want to sponsor for the next 10 episodes, will you pay me this amount of money? You didn't give me a hard time. You didn't pick my brain. You weren't an asshole to me. You were just like, basically, Joey, I believe in you. And you sent me the money. And after you sent that, when the transaction came through, I sat at my desk and I swear to God, like a tear came out. I cried a little bit because all my hard work, everything that I have been doing, it kind of, it's like, this shit's working. If somebody else believes in me, and then I was able to get a few others, but it really did touch me. Thank you so much.
I believe in you.
Thank you, man. It really did. It really did. So speaking of Blends, great product. The needles, phenomenal. Look at all this right here. You have one of the most supportive teams in the SMP industry. Like I know, if I'm being completely honest, I don't know another team as supportive. When someone posts, they all, you know, if they're available, they're going to comment, they're going to like, they're going to show the team up. How did you kind of come up with that? Like, how did that all start?
So I was on FYT. I was on FYT's pro team. I was sponsored by them, the Pink Needles. And I'm not going to down them or nothing like that, but they told me basically your discount code gets used more than any other pro artist. Add 5 of them, 5 of those artists didn't compare to what you would sell. You know what I'm saying? So they actually wanted me to fly to Canada to go own 10% shares of the company, of the Pink Needles. And then I started just thinking, like, at that time, the needles, me personally, I did not really like the needles. I mean, they would go bad after like 3 dots. And I was literally, by the time I was done with a client, I had a mountain of pink needles on my station of used needles. So I was,
because they were jamming.
Yeah, not jamming, but just were dolling out, spitting. You know, sometimes I'll be wearing $1,000 shoes, and as soon as I put the needle in, put the ink, they're just like, and I'm just like, you know. Shout out FYT, my bad. I'm just being real.
That was a long time ago. FYT's made improvements.
Right? And, you know, so I was like, if I'm moving what 5 artists is moving at a time, they're trying to give me 10% shares of the company. Why don't I just come out with my own? You know what I'm saying? I've always been a go-getter, always been, I'm not afraid to start from the bottom. You know, I've always started from the bottom, you know what I'm saying? And I did a lot of research and we came out with the Arrows needles, you know, and I fell in love with them, and I just...
Is it pronounced arrows? To white people, we say euros.
Nah, so Arrows.
It's pronounced arrows. Arrows, people.
So Arrows, want to hear how I came up with that?
Yes.
So Eros is the Greek goddess of love.
Okay. Yeah.
So when I said Eros, I said, that's me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
I was like, so I just loved that name. I loved Eros, so I ended up calling it Eros. I love the meaning of it. And it's kind of like arrows, what Eros did, which is Cupid, would shoot an arrow and then people would fall in love. So they get hit with that Arrows needle, get SMP, and they fall in love. They fall in love with the way they look. They fall in love with the procedure. Artists, they use it. They fall in love with the product. You know what I'm saying? So we came out with Arrows needles that I really, really love. And I don't put my name on anything unless it's the best. You know what I'm saying? I don't just put products out because I want to make money. I have to use these products. You know, I put these products on thousands of clients' scalp, so it has my name on it, you know, so I'm not afraid to spend. I just want the best. I want to make sure I'm using the best, and that's why we came out with arrows.
And that's what you said to me when I went on your website. I ordered some ink, right? And you're like, "Hey Joey, I'm also selling needles. Why don't you just try some?" And you sent me some free boxes, and I thought that was great. You said, "Look, I wouldn't waste my money on a shitty needle." I would, and when you said that, I was like, you know what? He's right. He wants to do a good job. I want to do a good job. So they probably are. And then I use them. They're good. They're great shit. Go get the arrows needles, people. I love the story, by the way. That's great. They fall in love with the arrows needles. Let's circle back. So I wanna start at the beginning of the Chris Herrera journey. So where were you born?
I was born here in Maryland.
Here in Maryland?
Yeah,
Okay.
Born and raised.
And where did you grow up?
I grew up in Montgomery Village.
Okay.
Like, do you mean like where did I grow up? Meaning the city and state, or how did I grow up?
So basically, I know, and I want you to go into as much detail as you're willing to. You had talked about living in group homes, right? And so kind of what happened where you had to have separated from some family at some point for that to happen.
So I grew up with my father, me and my twin brother. We grew up with my father. My father is from El Salvador. So he came over here looking for a better life, you know, not knowing no English. And we grew up in Section 8. We grew up super hard. My dad used to work at gas stations, cleaning bathrooms, you know. And me and my brother, while he was at work, we kind of, my grandma used to watch us, but my grandma, you know, she's always in the house.
They can't control your two boys.
So she used to let us run the streets. And me and my brother, as much as my dad wanted to control us and lock us down, I mean, he was always working. So me and my brother ran the streets. And, you know, we would basically got in a lot of trouble. We would literally, it's crazy, but we grew up, both me and my twin brother grew up in group homes, in and out of jail, shelters, you know, and when I got into a shelter is when I learned to become, there was a gentleman that worked at the shelter, and he was a barber. And at that time, I was in the shelter waiting for placement because I just AWOL'd from another group home. And when I was in the shelter and that barber cut my hair, I tell people, you know, my students are going to be like, yeah, we heard that story, because I tell everybody about this. When that barber cut my hair, that's the haircut that changed my life forever. And I say that because that haircut made me feel better about myself. It made me feel like everything is going to be okay. You know, it just with that haircut. And that's when I decided this is what I want to do. I want to make people look good and feel better about themselves. And that's when I started on my path as a barber.
So was that the first time you had gotten a real haircut? Or like before that was your dad cutting your hair in the kitchen, or like or was this just like a really good haircut, like a fresh fade or something?
Oh man, if you were to see the type of haircuts my dad used to give us.
Did you get bowl cut?
100%. Yeah, 100%. And he used to even have, I remember one time he bought a comb, and the comb had a razor in it. And he would just rip it through our hair. Yeah.
Ugh. Like using the razor with the comb to guide it and then just cut the hair off?
No, it was actually, that's the way the comb came, with a razor inside it to
like cut your hair at the same time.
Rip, cut.
So you're like, this is great. I mean, I look good. But
we didn't look good. We was crying probably for being red, and it was horrible.
Are you willing to share sort of any insight as to what kind of led you to the group home? If you don't want to talk about it, you don't have to talk about it. But did something crazy happen?
Everything that you can imagine.
Yeah, we're breaking into places, stealing.
Everything you can imagine.
Yeah. Did your brother go with you to all these places as well? Was it both of you, or was it just Chris?
Nah, me and my brother definitely ended up in it's a place called Noise out here, which is a detention center for the youth. Me and my brother both were there. We were both in group homes, not in the same group home, but when we was locked up together, we would be in different dorms. So we, but both of us was at the same time. Yes.
How old were you when you first went to one?
I think the first time I went probably was like 14 or 15 years old.
Damn. So right in the middle of high school, you're changing. You just going through puberty.
I think it was middle school.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it was middle school.
And I mean, that had been scary as hell for a little kid. So I mean, but it obviously you're saying it didn't scare you enough to like clean up your act at that point.
Nah.
So what did you do? I mean, how long did you spend? Is it a week? Is it 2 weeks or?
So I would say I did juvie life.
What does that mean?
So juvie life is when you're like, I got in when I was 15, and by the time I got off papers and everything, I think I was like 19, an adult.
Okay. So you're in and out of the system the whole time.
Yep.
On probations and all that. So did you have to do community service, that sort of thing?
Yeah, that been there, done that.
Yeah.
Community service a few different times.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How did that affect your mentality? I mean, growing up, like can you remember how you thought of things back then? Your perception of life and
I thought, to be honest with you, I thought all of that was normal.
You did, okay. Because that's all you knew?
That's all I knew. That's what people around me were going through. I didn't know anything different. You know, honestly, everybody thought that I would end up in jail doing life or just wouldn't be nothing growing up.
And that stuck with you, right? I mean, I know that feeling where you think everybody's kind of doubting you, right? And then that's usually helps fuel the motivation to do better in life. But most people don't. Most people fold and they just keep doing the same dumb shit and stay in the vicious poverty circle, I call it. Poverty circle of just fucking up their life, going to jail, getting out, doing good for a couple months and then fucking up again.
People who come from where I come from don't make it to where I made it.
Yeah. So you should feel good. You should feel good.
Oh, I feel amazing about that. I still don't know what I did to deserve where I got in life and how far I've really come.
I forget the name of the symptom, but a lot of people feel that way when you start doing well. You're like, am I supposed to? Imposter syndrome. You know, they have imposter syndrome. They think like this shouldn't be happening to me. I'm just a poor kid from wherever. Why is this happening to me? Now, since you've been coming up, I'm sure people from the neighborhood and kids you grew up with, they're like, Chris is doing what? Have you tried to help them? Or, I mean, early in your journey, try to bring them on as barbers? I know you went into all that.
I definitely tried to pull a lot of people up with me growing up. But, I mean, they went their way and I went my way.
It's hard, right?
Yeah.
If they don't have the ambition, because it happened to me quite a bit where, people would ask me for advice and I'd try and teach them out. Try to guide them to do things to make their life better. But if they don't want it, they don't want it. You can't force someone to be ambitious.
Now they want it. I already did all the hard work. So now they want to join. You know what I'm saying?
And jump all the steps.
Yeah. And that's not the way it works.
I agree. So you're growing up in these group homes. You're in and out until you're 19. How did the schooling work? I mean, how were you able to see... was your mom around, not around? Was your dad around?
Oh, I forgot to mention, we also went to the worst alternative schools as well. Me and my brother.
Okay. So you had to go to that's where all the bad kids go, for people who don't know that, the alternative school. They kick them out of the regular high school, and then they put them in the bad kid school with all the other bad kids.
Mm-hmm. I never went to regular high school. I actually went to the alternative school when I was in middle school.
Wow. So you never did like the proms and the sports and all that stuff?
Nah. I'm actually a high school dropout as well. I dropped out at 10th grade.
Wow. And you've done so much. Good for you. Mm-hmm. Good for you. Now, during this whole process, I mean, did you start drinking at a young age?
Oh, yeah. I think I took my first drink when I was like 7.
Yeah. Wow.
I don't know. I'm being honest.
Yeah. You're just playing around, hanging out.
Yeah.
Now, since your dad's from El Salvador, do you have family and stuff that's in the area, cousins or anything? Or is it just him came across?
No, I definitely grew up with a lot of my cousins because since my dad used to always work, we would get sent to like my uncles to take care of us. So we kind of grew up with everybody. We literally bounced around.
Okay. I know the feeling of getting tossed from one aunt, to another house, basically watch you for a couple of weeks and then you go somewhere else. I know that feeling. when you're a kid, it just seems like you're having fun. At least for me, it felt like I was having fun. I'm hanging out with my cousins. But as an adult, I look back, I'm like, you know, my mom was kind of pawning me off. Somebody had to watch me because she wasn't able to do that.
Yeah, my dad had to do what he had to do.
Yeah. I had seen something you post. I don't know if I'm misremembering, but did you say you helped pay for your dad's house or something?
So a couple years ago, I would say, I don't know, maybe like 5 years ago, 6 years ago, I did pay my dad's house off.
That's fucking incredible. I mean, he just says that very nonchalant, but that is a huge, huge accomplishment. That's so cool, man.
Yeah, he was getting ready to lose his job. He was scared. He was like, I got to get rid of my house. I got to sell it. And I paid it off for him.
Wow.
One of my hugest accomplishments ever.
That's amazing. I mean, that's what, that's when like a guy makes it to the NFL or whatever, they buy their mom a house or buy their dad a house. Good for you, man. That's incredible.
I actually used to see, like, let's say on Facebook, I used to see, somebody posting that they did that. You know what I'm saying? They used to almost make me tear up. It did, you know what I'm saying? I'd be like, and I used to think like, I hope that one day I'm able to do that for my father.
So you did a lot of visualization, right? Like you visualize it, you read it, you visualize it. Because I think that is something that people don't talk about that much. A lot of successful people, what we do is we live in our head and you go through scenarios, right? To the point where you can cry by yourself because you're thinking about, hey, if I achieve this goal. Do you do a lot of that?
I definitely, but you mean like the law of attraction type stuff?
I mean like, okay, so before you started the Art of SMP and you were still barbering, were you picturing yourself starting an SMP shop, coming out with products? Like, did you picture all of this?
No.
In your head, no?
No, not. I always knew that I was, I even feel till today there's something else bigger for me. You know what I'm saying? Because what I typically do is I shoot to the top in something, and then I find the next mountain. I look for the next tallest mountain, and I start climbing that mountain, get to the top, and I'm just waiting to see what the man above has for me to dominate next.
You ready for your next goal? Is what you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed.
Waiting, patiently waiting.
You just don't know what it is yet. Good for you. So other than going in and out of the group homes and all that sort of thing, what was your childhood like? I'm just trying to learn more about who is Chris Herrera. I mean, what did you spend time doing? Obviously, you weren't just getting yelled at the entire time. I mean, were you athletic? Did you play any sports?
Oh yeah, I played every sports. I wasn't too good in basketball, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I definitely did a lot of. My childhood was, we used to go outside, hang out with all the kids in the neighborhood, play neighborhood basketball, neighborhood football. We was out playing all the time as kids. We didn't, not like the kids today that are on their iPad or playing their PlayStation and stuff like that. Like, we was literally outside.
Yeah. And it was before like smartphones, obviously. There's pagers and there were the old Nokias.
Pagers, definitely.
Yeah. I feel bad for kids now because they have that tablet. Like it seems like they're never bored.
How old are you, Joey?
37.
37?
Yeah. I was born in 1987. What about you?
I'm 1987 as well, but I'm 38.
Okay.
Damn,
when's your birthday?
Hey, how I look so much younger than you though? It's the beard.
Yeah. When's your birthday?
April 23rd, 1987. I'm a Taurus.
Okay, so I'm in October. Okay, nice. Yeah, I didn't know we were the same age. I knew we were around the same age.
What's up, SMP world? It's Chris with the Blends Protein. A lot of people are switching over to our products. The most realistic results are being put out using Blends products. These products were made for artists by artists. We want to make you a believer. Here's 20% off your first purchase. Use
Dattie
podcast. Blends for the most natural results in the world.
So would you overall though, yeah, you made a bunch of mistakes and you're doing dumb shit. I'm sure that was pretty much influenced by the neighborhood and people around you. But would you overall say you were a good kid or a bad kid? Were you a good kid, like just stuck in a shitty situation, or?
I was a bad kid with a good heart.
Okay. Have you ever went back to any of these places that you lived since this all happened? Or do you know if anybody who worked there is still there?
So they did bring me back to the group home as a success story.
That's great.
Yeah, where a newscaster here, actually a big time newscaster named Leon Harris, he interviewed me as a success story for the group home. They were trying to raise money for the group home, and it was when I owned a barbershop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, and the level I'm on now compared to then is it's like on a whole other level.
Wow. So did you go in there and talk to the kids? And
I haven't done that yet. That is on my bucket list, but it's just,
I feel like they would appreciate it.
yeah, I need to do it. I've always told myself I need to do it. I just haven't yet. And I don't know, I guess, to be honest with you, people look at me on Instagram as a loudmouth. You know, I'm there, but really it's me and a camera. It's really tough to get out there in front of a group of people. Like when I go on stage and I'm talking to, everybody, I get kind of like, yeah.
You did good to public speak. I seen you public speak twice, 2 or 3 times. I thought you did well.
I appreciate that.
And even when you went up there, you said, "Hey, I don't do this very often." Mm-hmm. I think that kind of breaks the ice and lets everyone know, because the number one fear year over year is public speaking. Bigger than death, bigger than spiders. It's always public speaking because you're vulnerable. You're up there and it's scary and you get that adrenaline rush.
A few years ago, I would have been nervous doing this.
Yeah.
But I'm not nervous at all because I'm coming here and I'm just speaking the truth, speaking from the heart. And I truly love this industry.
And it shows. So, okay, so you're going through all this sort of thing with the group homes. You eventually get out. Where you living? What's your first job?
So when I was in the group homes, when I was in the shelter, that's when I decided I wanted to be a barber. And then when I went to my group home, when I used to get in trouble, they used to send me to my room. So when I was sent to my room, actually a lot, I used to, I wanted to be a barber. So I used to draw hairlines. I used to draw beards, shape ups. I used to do that for hours, and I got into, when I was in my group home, it definitely changed my life for the better. I don't know where I would be today if I was never in that group home. I would probably be in jail or dead. And that's just being completely honest. That's where I learned to cook, to kind of take care of myself. And that's when they did help me get into my first barbershop. A lady worked there. She had a friend that owned a barbershop. And I started working at a all-black barbershop, and it was super tough, and plenty of times I wanted to give up, working in a barbershop, messing up, and I kind of add that into my story when I talk to my students, that anything you do, you have to start from the bottom. A barber is a true hustler, of somebody who, those gifts are not given to you. Those gifts are earned. You have to mess people up. You have to, you have to keep going. It's like falling. You got to get up, wipe yourself off, and keep going. So as a barber, you're going to mess up, but you just keep giving it your all. You got to keep trying. And, at that time, I remember being a barber. To me personally, when I was a barber, I used to, I felt proud. I used to be like, oh, I'm a barber. To me, that was like.
You owned it.
Yeah. It was like being a doctor or something like that. So I was proud about it. And, at plenty of times I wanted to give up because, I had to pay booth rent. And a lot of times I wouldn't even make money to pay my booth rent. And that's why I actually had to leave my first barbershop, was because I wasn't able to pay my booth rent. It wasn't one of those commission shop bases. So I ended up leaving. I went to a Dominican and black barbershop. And then that's when I started, not getting good, but I started, getting like a snowball effect. And then I left the group home, got sent back home. And one of my uncles told me about a barbershop. It was a barbershop. It's called Primo's Barbershop in Old Town Gaithersburg. That was a Puerto Rican shop. And that shop was like, it was a sweatshop. Literally, it doesn't matter the skills that you have. People are just coming. They just want to get a cut. And, so when I went there, it was just, I started watching, the best barbers in there, asking questions. I was hungry. I was hungry to become great as a barber, which I knew I would. And I feel like what I did, the steps I did to become a great barber, which was, getting in the industry, starting out, working for somebody, being a good worker, to opening up my own business, making that business the best barbershop in the area, to getting into the scalp micropigmentation industry. I used a lot of tools and skills that I did to become a great barber to get into this industry. And with, just my barber background, it has a lot to do with why I became one of the most successful SMP artists of all time.
And I just want to circle back that. Thank you for sharing that. I want to circle back. So when you were in that group home, was there like, you're saying a lady helped you get that, and that was a pivotal role for you. Mm-hmm. Now, and people taught you how to cook. Like, explain to people who don't know what a group home is and how it operates. Is it like 5 kids living in one house and then there's like staff or something?
So the first group home that I was in, I think there was like 12 to 15 kids in there.
Damn, was it a big house?
It was a pretty big house. I think it was in the room that I was in, if I can remember, it was 5 kids in one room. So it was 2 bunk beds and then 1 single bed.
And you shared with the 4 other kids.
And then there was, I think, 2 or 3 other rooms. It was, I would say it was probably about 12 to 15 students. Yeah.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Wow.
And there is staff members, they basically have a schedule, it was a schedule. So this time you did this, then you did this, then you did this, then you did this. You had to clean. You had to cook. It basically showed you how to schedule your day out.
Okay.
To do what needed to be done, and that's basically it's troubled kids. It could be the ones I was at was for troubled kids. There is some places that were for, which is foster care. It's different.
Like people were homeless?
Where their parents left them and stuff like that. I don't know that one. I know troubled kid getting sent to a house where they taught you how to become a productive member of society.
That makes sense. But give you structure.
Structure, 100%.
Was there any, I guess, beatings or fights there? Like the kids had to fall. I feel like it.
Definitely, you would get into a lot of fights. And I remember in my my first group home, the lady that ran it was cuckoo. Like, she would just be like, God told me it was you. She used to make us do stuff like it was a long driveway. She used to make us do things like clean the driveway with toothbrushes. You know what I'm saying?
Try to keep you guys busy.
As punishment. It was wild. It was definitely it was tough. And when I actually AWOD from that group.
When you look at that though now, you have this one lady trying to contain 10 to 12 little badass kids. Do you see why she did it?
Definitely, of course. I mean, it was hard, but she was just, she deserved to be locked up herself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But in a cuckoo home. We was there for being trouble. She needs to be in a cuckoo home.
Well, I mean, it taught you something, right?
Oh, yeah, 100%. But actually, from there, no, I wouldn't. I'm not going to say I learned anything from there. It wasn't the first group home that I went to that really changed my life. I would say it was when I AWOD from that group home and I got sent to a shelter, which was Hearts and Homes for Youth. I got sent to one of their group homes. So in that shelter is when my life started to change for the better, started trying to be better, and actually, fly right, I would say, you know what I'm saying? And then after that shelter, I got sent to a group home, and then that's when I started learning how to cook, take care of ourselves and get a job.
Was there like a mom-dad type situation, or was it just like random people come?
Staff members,
okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you were probably a little bit older at that point, right?
I was, I would say I was 14, 15, 16, something like that.
When you said you got that first job in a barber shop, they actually let you cut hair, and how old were you? How'd that kind of work?
I was 15 years old, and yes, I was cutting people's hair. I was learning to cut people's hair. People knew I was new, and they were, letting me, but the owner of that place was trying to charge me booth rent, like I was already a busy barber and stuff like that, so it was a little tough.
would they actually pay you, or were you just getting tips? Because I know in the beginning, you know,
They would pay me.
they would pay you. Okay. So in booth rental, for those who don't know, you're renting a chair, right, at a barber shop. So they're providing the people that come in, and then you pay a fee, I guess, per week or per month or something like that. That's crazy, man. That you're going to all these different group homes. I'm sure you're mentally struggling at that point. You know, you're poor. You don't know what the hell's going on. This is pre-internet for everyone who doesn't know. So you're just trying to really find yourself, battling your internal demons at the same time, and just trying to get a goal, it sounds like. And so once you got that haircut, you're like, I have a goal now, and let's work towards that goal. Mm-hmm. So when did you get like your first like job? Hey, it was in the Dominican barbershop where you started actually making progress?
No, it was the Puerto Rican barbershop.
Okay.
Primo's barbershop.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so how long did you work there? And then when did you start your own shop?
I think I started working there when I was, I would say 19. And I got my first barbershop when I was 21.
Wow. Okay. So about 2 years. Mm-hmm. And where was your first barbershop at?
In Gaithersburg, Maryland as well.
Okay.
Yeah, close to Primo's barbershop. You know, I had to stay in the area because that's where my clients were.
Was your first one just like a room with a chair, just you, or how was it set up?
I actually teamed up with somebody who, he actually opened a barbershop, and his barbershop really wasn't doing anything. At that time, I had lines out the door of, I wasn't doing appointments at the time. I was doing walk-ins. So I literally had lines out the door, people waiting for me to cut the hair. And, you know, it was actually a client of mine at the time. And I feel like he saw how I was dressed, saw how I was making money, and he was like, I'm gonna open a barbershop. You know, and people not really knowing. I even have people ask me all the time, I'm thinking about opening a barbershop, and I tell them, are you a barber? You know, I don't recommend it unless you're a busy barber. But he ended up opening a barbershop, and he gave me a deal that I couldn't say no, you know, to become owner of a barbershop, to become his partner. That as well definitely helped me in my path. At
21 years old?
Yep.
Wow.
I think he was like 18 years old.
Wow. Where were you living at the time?
At that time, I was living, I think I was living with my father. I was bouncing around. Throughout that time, I did have my own apartment, but, you know, sometimes wouldn't be able to, you know, pay my apartment. I had to move back home, live with my father, stuff like that.
When you say you couldn't pay, if you're making some money, were you just blowing your money instead of paying the rent?
It's a mixture of everything. Also, just spending money, of course, but not making a lot as well, you know.
I know the feeling. Of when you're younger and you do make some money, you don't want to spending it on rent's not fun. Mm-hmm. Right. You want to go out and do something, try to find some girls, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, Chris, do you have, just a little side note, do you have any kids?
I do have a beautiful daughter. Yeah.
How old?
Daughter. She's the 10th of this month, she's turning 17.
Wow. So you were a young dad.
The 17th of this month, yeah.
So, wow. So during all of this, and then you eventually, so what were you, 20 when you had her?
Yep.
21?
Yeah, I feel like, honestly, she was my lucky charm. You know, when I had hers, when my life changed totally, is when I wanted to leave the streets alone. I was doing dumb stuff in the streets. And, you know, even after she was born, I was still in the streets doing dumb stuff. But I wanted better for her, really. I wanted better for me. I wanted to be able to help my family. And, you know, thank God I found SMP.
Yeah. But I mean, just having a daughter and wanting to do better for her, I think is a good thing to motivate people to change their habits, right?
Well, yeah, having a kid definitely will change your life.
And you were a young parent.
Not for everybody, because some people have kids and just
still do the same dumb shit.
That was not me. I'm not like that at all. Like, I take care of mine.
Good for you. Just a side note, what does she think about the SMP industry? She into it, or she's like, nah, in her own world?
She's not really. I wanted her to do eyebrows. I kind of helped her to try to help her to learn how to do nails, learn how to do eyelashes, and I would love for her to do eyebrows so she can be a entrepreneur. I don't want her to ever have a boss. I want her to be the boss.
Yeah, I think about it all the time. My kids are young. My son's 4, my daughter's 1.5. And I think about what jobs will be available in 10, 20, 30 years, you know what I mean? And I don't think the SMP industry is going away, not anytime soon. But I think, what would I do at 16, 17 years old? What would I study? I don't think college is, I don't think it's going to be there. I think this AI shit, people are really underestimating it, and it's going to be taken away. But
100%.
SMP, become an SMP artist, PMU artist, I think you can obviously build your brand and make a lot of money. Good for you.
We proof of that.
Yeah. So Chris, you started dominating in the barber industry. So how were you ultimately introduced to SMP? You start losing your hair. How were you dealing with that? What happened?
Well, at that time, I definitely was. So my hair loss is different. I don't got the full bald in the top. Mine was just the corners. But I didn't know about SMP or anything like that. I didn't know I even had a solution for it. So one day, I went to Panera Bread in Gaithersburg, and when I went there, I seen this dude that had a super sharp shape up, very, very sharp, and it looked straight like a tattoo. And when I seen that, I said, damn, like, he's not fooling nobody. That's a tattoo. I can tell that was a tattoo. And he was kind of like, he was fly, he had the nice chain, the dress, Gucci shoes, the whole Gucci outfit, the nice shades. I mean, he looked straight like money. So when I seen him, you know what I'm saying? I was like, I went up to him. I was like, is that a tattoo of a shape up? You know what I'm saying? And he was like, yes, brother, this is what I do. I was like, tattoo of a shape up. So he gave me his card, and, it really caught my attention, but it was more like I was supposed to meet him. I was supposed to find out about scalp micropigmentation, that this is it. This is your calling. It was one of those type of moments for me. And I went on his Instagram and I just started looking at it, and then I started seeing stuff about scalp micropigmentation. One of the first barbers that I've ever seen doing scalp micropigmentation was, shout out my boy Jesse Lima. That's one of my that's my family right there. That's one of the dudes who I have the most love for.
Jesse's a beast. He's a beast. Really humble guy.
That is my brother. That's family 100%. But I started seeing him dabbling in it as well. So at the same time, it was catching my attention. It was catching his attention. But at that time, he already kind of got under somebody's wing as well, like basically learning from somebody. And at that time, I actually wanted to learn from Daniel Urenberg. I literally was like, when's your next class? And I literally I was trying to bring 2 people with me, and, stuff happened, and we ended up canceling the class. And then that's basically how I found out about scalp micropigmentation. You want me to keep going?
Yeah. So were you? So real quick. So Dan is also the person who introduced me. For those who don't know,
Dan was the man in the DMV. He was the number one. I would say, I'm not even. He was one of the top SMP artists in the world. Yeah. Rest in peace again, Daniel Urenberg.
Yeah, back in like 2016, 2015, Dan was, and everything you said with the Gucci suit, I pictured Dan loved to dress nice. He always had nice watches too.
Oh yeah.
And stuff. And he would do the SMP like that. Yeah. Not everybody does that. But go on.
Tight. Anybody know Daniel Urenberg? He had the nice Gucci and all that with the tight jeans and the Gucci flip flops going to work.
So you're doing all that. You see Dan, he's looking fly. You ask about the training. So did you try to do the training before you got your head done or after?
Oh, I was already in the industry when I got my scalp done. I was already had opened the office and was already taking clients when I got my SMP done.
Wow. So a lot of people, they get it done first and then they go train. So you did it kind of the opposite direction.
Yeah, when I found out about it, I personally didn't even care about my, the way my head looked, because where I come from, you're wearing a fitted, oh, I can't wear my hat, man. I'm always wearing a hat. Even to the day I have SMP, but I'm literally always wearing my hat, you know what I'm saying? So I always, had a hat flip backwards, that's part of, my culture where I come from. You always match the shoes with the hat. So I really didn't care about my hair loss too much, but yeah, I got into the industry. And when I seen Daniel Urenberg's shape up, I was like, oh, I could do way better than that.
And so did you ultimately end up, so you were going to bring other people with you. So those other guys didn't go. Did you then end up training by yourself somewhere else, or did you go back to Dan, or how'd that work?
So I actually reached out to my boy Jesse, and I was just like, yo, you guys do training? I'm trying to get trained. And at that time, Jesse, he was going to put me on with his boy to train me as well. But I don't know. I guess at that time I was like, man, I'm going to try to find something around me.
More local, yeah.
And I actually did my research, and I found Scalpa Online Academy, with, Bryce Cleveland, which is...
Shout out to Bryce, legend in the SMP early days.
The king of SMP. He don't do it no more, but that is, that's the big boss who put all the big names on now.
Dan Urenberg was working for Bryce.
Yeah, everybody who is somebody in the industry, he has something to do with, he trained somebody to train this person, all the big names in the industry.
He started franchising, he was the first to franchise with the scalp aesthetics. Yeah. Okay. So
shout out to Bryce. Right?
So you did like video tutorial training at first?
I did do videos, and what's crazy is that the person who was my trainer was somebody, I forgot his name. He closes deals for people nowadays. I have to look it up. I forgot his name, but he literally wasn't even an SMP artist, and the training was, it was horrible. I'm not gonna lie. I appreciate coming from that. You know what I'm saying? But it was horrible. I'm not where I am today because I got trained. That was just like the introduction for me, because I trained with a lot of people in the industry. I wanted to become great, and I know what it took. So I literally was traveling a lot. I literally, so that was what I mean by it was horrible, was that type of training, to do it on online class and to be where I'm at now, like it's...
And that was so early on too. I mean, there's much better products, needles, techniques, everything. So you're watching these online videos. So were you doing the melons and the fake skin?
Oh yeah. Late at night, I would literally...
Do any of your body parts?
Nah, I didn't do that. Okay. I don't have dots on my knees, and I didn't do all that. I literally... what's crazy is that as a barber, I started offering it to my clients, and they already... they would believe in me because they know the type of, I guess, how detailed I was in cutting their hair. And, so when I told them I did this, they would actually let me.
Were you doing it for free back then?
I was getting what I can get.
Yeah, no, you got to build up your portfolio.
I was getting what I can get. I would say 2,000, I would say 800. I was like, man, I'll do it for free. I did SMP procedures for free. You gotta do that.
Oh, I did it in the beginning. You have to, especially shout out to my friend JT and Drew, let me do their whole head for free. Obviously it was my first time. You make mistakes, but since I've never fucked it up too bad to where you can't fix it. You know what I mean? You're learning. You gotta, it's part of the learning curve, everybody. If you're an up and coming artist, a new artist, it's just part of the process, to be honest.
That's right. I
don't know any artist who never made mistakes in the beginning.
I fuck some people up that when they hit me up now, I'm like, I don't even want to see you. You know what I'm saying? Like bad, like you got to sneak in the back door. I don't want people to know I did that.
We can always try to fix it as best you can now, right?
Right.
Okay. So you're learning this in the beginning. Are you doing it out of a barbershop? Where are you doing it at?
I literally was doing it. So in my barbershop, it was a small barbershop. It was my second barbershop I ever owned. And we had 4 barbers in the front. And then I had my barber area in the back. It was like a little small room. And I literally would close the door and use my barber chair as my chair for SMP.
Okay.
And I started, taking anybody I can get. Like literally, I would take, I did my brothers, I did my cousins, I would do friends, anybody they would let me, I was doing it. I was like just laser focused. I wanted it so bad.
And during that process, how'd your brothers turn out?
He loves it.
Yeah.
He honestly loves it. So my brother, he at first he was like, "Oh, I'm not gonna get that. I'm not gonna get that," and he got it, and he definitely loves his job. I look at it now, and he was like, "Oh, I want to get a touch up. I want to bring my hairline down." And I'm just like, "Man, leave it alone. Leave it alone."
Yeah. Yeah, no, I know the exact feeling you're talking about. When you see your old work and it's somebody related to you or a friend, you're like, okay, let's just play it safe, because we've learned so much, right? I don't think there's anybody no one's had SMP for more than 15 years. Nobody, because people ask me that all the time. What's going to happen in 30 years? I tell them, we honestly don't know. We honestly don't know. The longest, maybe the oldest procedure, 15, 16 years old, maybe.
A great procedure with time will look bald again. That's a great procedure. It will look like you're going bald. If it looks like you don't need a touch up after 10 or 15 years, the procedure was done improperly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think it eventually, if I didn't get mine touched up, I'd probably get some patches, but some dark spots, but I think it eventually would fade to like a gray, light gray shadow.
I like your procedure. It looks good on you. It fits you very well. You don't have a tat head like me. I look like I got a tattoo. I look like the 2025 Daniel Yernberg, the tat head. You know what I'm saying? It's boxy. I wish I didn't do the box, and I know people probably look at my SMP and they probably think what I thought when I seen Daniel's, like, damn, you know what I'm saying? I even have clients come in, they look at my head and they're like, I want it, but I don't want it to look like that. Or some people be like, yeah, I want it like that as well. You know what I'm saying?
So personally, a side note, what do you want to do with your head? Like, do you want to laser it and start over and get like a different type of hairline, or what do you think?
100%. If I can I'm dreading the going through getting a tattoo. Getting tattoo removal, but it's something that I have to do. I need to do it, but I just don't want to have to go through, just that phase of being bald again, or just.
Well, it's going to be awkward, right? Because after a session, maybe some areas are more removed than others, But you got to do what you got to do.
I have to do it.
It is what it is.
Soon.
My recommendation, that's what I was going to say. You should document the whole thing, that way you can show people. So, in the beginning, I liked doing the shape ups. I didn't mind it. But the more I do SMP, I'm in my 7th year, I don't like doing the shape ups. Even when people beg me, I'm like, I really try and talk them out of it. But if they're adamant and they're like, I'm going to pay you, just do the shape up, I'll do it. But I'm leaning towards what you're saying. I don't think it's great long term. I don't. How do you feel? Like,
so the barbershop edge up, okay? The barbershop edge up, where I come from, is the look that everybody, when they go to the barbershop, this is the look they want. Even they go to the barbershop sometimes twice a week to keep it looking nice and sharp, okay? Now, there is a certain way to properly do a barbershop edge up, which is you still keep it spaced out in the front, but you give that shape. Those super sharp lines that people are putting out in the industry, and people are like, oh my gosh, that looks amazing. That, to me, somebody who knows what work looks like healed years down the road, because I almost have a decade in the industry. This is 8 years I have in the industry. Mm-hmm. So I do know what work looks like healed. There's a proper way to do it where you can frame the face and give them the box shape up. But when you're doing it so tight and literally it's wrong. You're messing them up. And I'm seeing that a lot. And I see a lot of people congratulating, wow, that looks amazing. Nah, 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 nah. That's not the way to properly do it. But if I could redo it, I definitely would not get the barbershop edge up. I would definitely go with a more natural style so that it looks like I literally had a full head of hair and then I shaved it off. But when you talk about a lot of places like New York, Florida,
Philly,
Washington, D.C., Maryland, Philly, that box shape up is in. And a lot of people in this industry hate on that shape up, but the people who hate on that just can't do it. They couldn't do it if their life depended on it, because that hairline is easy for me because I was a barber. I know I have that barber's eye, but for them to match this side to this side, this corner to this corner, this arch go down this way, the same way, they will struggle. They can't do it. They hate on it. And a lot of people who hate that hairline, they won't eat out here because that's what people want.
Yeah, I agree. And I like how you talked about the spacing in between because I think early on when you start doing it, you want to keep it real tight because you want to give them that crispy corner, right? Mm-hmm. That's what the client's asking for. You want to produce that. So the only way you can think of doing it is getting it as tight as possible.
Right.
Makes sense in your head and it looks good at first. Mm-hmm. But like you're saying, after years and years, it's not going to look as well as it could have if it was more natural look. And I also like what you said. You could still do the box look, but have it more, spread out. You can still achieve the same result.
Right. A lot of people that are doing the box shape up, they do it so tight, the dot's so tight that you can never add, not even years down the line. And you always want to, for a very natural SMP, it's always you leave room to add later.
Yep. Agreed. Now that you've been doing it for so long, what is your favorite type of procedure to do?
Natural hairlines.
Natural hairlines?
Yeah.
Do you like the receding hairlines or like bring it down almost as close as you can go?
I would say feathered. To me, a feathered, soft in the front, fuller in the back, no hard edges. You know what I'm saying? That to me I tell people that tells who's who in this industry, but for real, being diverse tells me who's who in the industry, where you can do any hairline. You can do anybody that calls you, they tell you, I want my hairline like this. If you can bring that hairline to life exactly the way they want it, and they are in wow when they look in the mirror, that shows me really who's who in the industry.
Agreed. What do you think about white guys with perfect shape ups?
With the barbershop edge up?
Yeah.
No.
It doesn't look good, does it, long term?
But people,
they beg for it.
Yeah. People, you give the clients what they want. You give them your 100% honest opinion. You tell them, you tell them exactly why you don't recommend it. But at the end of the day, if you're not going to give it to them what they want, they're going to go somewhere else and get it done. You know what I'm saying? So you definitely have to be diverse. A great SMP artist, the ultimate SMP artist knows how to do every hairline.
And it takes time. I had to, obviously, when I was doing my trainings, both trainings, my initial trainings with Dan Urenberg and then with Giroux, nobody came in with scars. I'm sure you did too, teach yourself how to do scars. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You have to kind of just learn it on your own. Yeah.
That's the best teacher for me, because I've trained with multiple companies, the best teacher for me is making mistakes and learning from it.
Yeah, agreed that you're going to learn the best. I've learned with doing the scars, because it doesn't always absorb the ink the first session, poking it with the needle, but with nothing on it, kind of like turning it into a sponge, right, and then going through it with, it seems to absorb a little bit better because some of this scar tissue is so dense, it's not happening. Mm-hmm. And then I don't want to increase the needle size, to hope it, because then it's going to look crazy on the back of their head.
Right.
How do you feel about doing like whole head? So you have someone come in here, you need to do behind the ears, the neckline. How do you feel about doing that? Will you?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course I will. I'll definitely do it, and I'll do it. And they'll leave very happy with what I do because, again, as a barber, you have to shape up the back of their necks. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So with my experience and what I know with doing SMP, plus with my barber background, I know how it's supposed to look. So 100% I will take them. Now, I don't recommend that for everybody because a lot of times people who don't even know what a haircut is or know how to round the back or box the back or fade the back, try to, they come and they say, give it rounded to me in the back. They're not even going to know where to start.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I'm saying?
And I don't think it would look, I don't know, maybe some people could pull it off, but doing SMP rounded, I don't think it would look very well.
I've done people have had alopecia, where they're completely bald spots, where I had to do the back. You know, that's what they wanted, that's what they needed. Now, as far as people having a full head of hair and wanted round or box, I'm not doing it. Yeah. Only people who are bald, like, have alopecia and they need to put the back there. But if they have they're bald on the top and they have a full head of hair on the sides and they want the lines back there, I tell them, nah, you don't need it. You're going to mess it up. It's going to look bad.
How many sessions are you doing now? Like in the beginning, were you doing 3 to 4? Are you now doing just 2 to 3? Or how you do it now?
To be honest with you, the proper way to do SMP, with my experience, I would say is 3 sessions. Mm-hmm. If you do it, those people who say the one and dones, can it be done? Yes, I have done procedures depending on the skin color. I'm able to do it in one where even after that one, it looks great. And, but that second is amazing. But for me personally, with my experience, the proper way to do scalp micropigmentation perfectly, is 3 sessions.
Let it completely heal, 4 to 6 or maybe 8 weeks, and then have them come back for that last one.
So the way I do it is on the first session, I map it out, boom, boom, boom. I do a full pass to where it looks complete. Mm-hmm. A lot of times clients will look in the mirror and they'll say, wow, oh my gosh, Chris, I don't think I need another session. This looks good. And then it has to heal. It has to run its course. And if you look right here, Joey, I have this tattoo here. Do you see how this is full here and this is light?
Yeah.
I've never fixed this tattoo because I like to show them this is how tattoos heal. It's not going to heal evenly. Some spots are going to take, some are going to disappear. And I wait 30 days for the next session.
Even after the first one. So you wait 30 days in between 1 and 2?
Yes.
Okay.
And the reason why I do that, I'm going to be honest, okay? When I first got into this industry, I used to take my clients in a week. Mm-hmm. But it was because I wasn't busy. And then I started getting really busy. I'm like, yeah, it's a 1 month. So I can take a bunch of first sessions, get a bunch of first sessions. And then what I started to realize is that some clients can heal in a week. Some clients will heal in 3 weeks. Some will heal in a month. By a month time, the procedure has completely healed. But for me, I would say, and to be honest with you, SMP heals, I would say fully, where it's completely run its course and does what it does, it takes about 2 months.
Yeah.
And that's what, what I think and what I say with my experience. Now, I have them wait 1 month because by 1 month, I'm able to see what has lightened up, what still looks full, so I'm able to go into the lighter areas. And then in the second session, they come in, I make proper adjustments on the hairline, blend everything in properly, give it a nice even pass, send them on the way, looking better than ever. And then I have them come back 1 month later. And then if sometimes I do need to do a full pass on the third session. Sometimes I don't need to do nothing on the first session or a third session. And then sometimes I might have to do a nice little pass. And
yeah, like 45 minutes, an hour, just touch up, tweak, a little few tweaks.
I think 3 sessions is perfect.
I agree. And there are people doing one amazing sessions. Those are really cool. I see people who do a phenomenal 2 sessions, but I also stick predominantly to the 3. And in regards to like the skin tone, obviously, like on a really fair skinned white guy, I got to be really careful. So sometimes it actually takes me 4 sessions.
100%. On whiter skin,
white
if
freckles.
You try to do one and done on a white skin, you destroyed their life. And I do know there is a company in Europe that's offering the one and done, and they're just giving people helmets.
You don't like it?
Huh?
You don't like the work?
I don't. They do some great work, but I see a lot of helmets. Yeah. I look at the work, and I have a special skill that I can look at it and I can already see how it's gonna heal.
Okay.
Yeah. Helmet City over there. That's looking for a helmet. Not everybody. I'm not talking about everybody. They have some of the best artists out there. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna lie. They got some. I'm just saying there is companies that do one and done. Even here, you know, there's in Florida, they're offering one and dones, and they're giving straight helmets. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just being honest. That's if somebody says one and done, they're giving you a helmet, or they're just using that as to get you to luring you in so you can come. And they tell you you're going to get one and done, but really you got to come back.
All right, Chris. All right, so we're talking about SMP, but I want to get back to in 2021 when I first met you. You won that award from FYT, right? How did you win the award, and then why did you break off?
So in 2021, I won Artist of the Year for that company, which had amazing artists. I mean, great artists. You know, at that time that we were the best. There was no other pro team that came closer as far as talent and skills. But honestly, it was blood, sweat, and tears, man. You know what I'm saying? I have truly gave this industry my life. You know, like how. You know, some SMP artists, you know, hate me and stuff like that, but I gave this industry my life to the point where I was like how, for example, Mike Tyson, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, how they trained and they, you know, they put their family to the side and focus on one goal. I did that for Scalp Micropigmentation.
Yeah, you took it. It was everything. You were locked in.
Yeah, I wouldn't sleep. You know, I wanted to be great. And I'm not saying, you know, I feel as though I do have a big part of why the industry moved the way it did so quick, because my generation is the best artist that has came out, you know, and there is a lot more great artists coming out, but I feel like you know, even there's great before our industry, but our industry definitely is where that wave just.
Yeah, like the stream of artists between 2018 and 2020, like all those people who trained and started and are still doing it now have definitely gotten better, and they are, I'd say, the meat of the SMP industry. Yeah. They're predominantly the ones who are successful.
Yeah, shout out, you know, to Jerome. For me, the people who I looked up to when I was coming up was Jerome, Ayulo.
Shout out to Matt Ayulo, Scalp Micro USA, John Giroux.
Yeah, Daniel Urenberg. Who else? I honestly don't feel like there's anybody else that I really looked up to when I got into the industry. I was just like, you know, shout out to everybody else, but those were to me, those were the people who
inspired you,
inspired me, that made me want, I'm gonna be there.
And people, he's not talking down about anyone else. He's saying this is who inspired him. He's not putting anybody else down. He's saying this is what inspired Chris, and that's what he was focusing on. He's going to focus on who's producing the results he likes. Mm-hmm. So he's going to focus on that.
Yeah. And honestly, you know, be honest with you, John Chandler as well. You know, he's somebody who I have a lot of respect for in the industry. And yeah. I know he'd be surprised that I would say that. You know what I'm saying? But John Chandler, I mean, he built a team, he built a squad, you know what I'm saying? And everybody on his team went hard.
Shout out to John Chandler. I haven't had him on yet. So you win that award at FYT, and why don't you want to continue just repping FYT? What happened?
So
disclose what you want to disclose. You don't have to.
Of course. So FYT, they, you know, when they made me a part of the team, it was like one of those things that happen in your life that you're just like, wow, how did I, you know, do that? Honestly, you know, it was huge for me, and I went hard for them. You know, I repped FYT, woke up, FYT, the best, you know, we're the best. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what I do. You know, if I'm part of something, I'm a part of something. I go hard. You know what I'm saying? And it got to a point where I truly feel like the product just wasn't there for me. If the product was there, I was complaining so much, like, man, these needles are horrible. They're hurting my fucking thumb. I'm allowed to cuss.
Yeah, you can cuss.
Yeah, my thumb is hurting. Like, my thumb is sore from changing so many needles. Like, you know, I started calling them the thumb. You know, it was just, I was getting the thumb blisters. Like, I was getting blisters on my thumb for switching out so many needles during the procedure. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, also, I was just moving so much, you know, products. You know, once they told me how much products that I was using, that I was moving through my discount codes, you know, and just the type of dude I am, I'm a hustler. I'm from the bottom. Everything I got it out the mud. You know, nothing was given to me. Everything I got is because I worked for it. You know what I'm saying? So, and I know what it takes to start from the bottom to grow in anything. So I was like, I'm gonna come out with the best products, you know, and that's when, you know, shout out FYT, thank you. I'm not trying to down y'all. I know that you guys have made a lot of upgrades since then, but
shout out to Dave.
Blends all day. We the best products, hands down.
Starting a needle line and an ink line is no easy task.
No, it's not.
I mean, so how did you come up with it, and what were the steps that you took in the beginning?
I have to use these products, and with my clients who are paying top dollar, I wanted to make sure that that I'm able to use the best products, the easiest products, top of the line. If everybody looks how I do everything, I don't go cheap on anything. You know, I have to use these products. They have to be top of the line. They have to be the best. Doesn't matter about the cost. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, my clients are paying top dollar, and I want to make sure they get nothing but the best.
I love that. I love that. And you have, like I alluded to earlier, you have one of the strongest teams, if not the strongest brand team, Blends. And I love the Blends. Shout out to everybody on Blends. They're so supportive.
Out to the Blends fam.
Now, how do you pick your team members? Like, as pro artists, do you seek them out, or do they come to you? How does that, like, if someone wants to, hey, I want to be on the Blends team, am I good enough? Will Chris like me? You know, how does that happen?
So to join the Blends Pro team, okay, so a lot of what I'm noticing with a lot of pro teams right now is that if you do one client and you show that you're using their ink, you can join their pro team. Mm-hmm. We don't do that. You got to be SMP royalty, what I call SMP royalty, which is you got to be pushing the industry forward, meaning doing great procedures, using the best products, talking about the industry. You got to actually be doing something in the industry. We just don't let anybody in the pro team. You got to be SMP royalty. You got to be, of course, using the products. But we don't just let anybody join. I actually get a lot of people reaching out to me saying that we want to join the Blends Pro team. And I'm just like, well, if you want to join the pro team, you know, make sure to use the products, make sure to tag us, you know what I'm saying? And if they deserve to be on the team, because if we do it as a team, we choose, okay, this dude can join. He's putting out great work. He's talented. He cares. He's not just doing it for the money. You know, we look at it and we say, okay, this person is serious. He's not just a weekender. You know, he's not just doing SMP on the weekend. You know, he's SMP life.
If you want to see a good representative people who are trying to be on the Blends team, I would say go check out Don Dada's Alex. He is the best brand ambassador you can have. He loves Blends. He bleeds it. I mean, the dude is phenomenal artist, and as well as I could tell he's loyal, and he really loves the product. And
I got to give a big shout out to Don Dada's. Honestly, like, he goes the hardest for the family. He is SMP royalty. He is my brother. I love that dude. And he knows that our relationship is something serious. Like, that's my boy. I got mad love for him, and he's definitely SMP royalty. That's my brother. That's somebody who I'm closest to from the other side.
Yeah, the UK. And he's great. He's a good dude too.
He's me in Europe.
Yeah, and he's killing it. He's absolutely dominating. I love when he told me he did his whole boxing gym. Everybody's got, hairline now.
Oh, you can't fuck with Don Dada, that boy.
Yeah,
He's serious.
So basically, if you're an up and coming SMP artist and you're looking to get on the blends team, you need to put in work, tag the products, and then think about reaching out to Chris. But just continue to move the industry forward and build your personal brand, and then you can reach out to him. Using
our products shows that you really care and you want to give your clients the best.
And they're doing good work, right? That's right. 100%. Sort of a big deal. Where do you see the future of the SMP industry? Like we alluded to earlier about the robots and stuff. You don't, because I seen, shout out to Picasso Jeff, he got a laser tattoo recently, and I've seen a few other people, but Jeff made it known on Instagram.
I didn't see that. He did that?
Yeah, it was a couple weeks ago. It should still be on there. Kira, pull that up. Kira, when we're talking about this, pull that up. Do you think there's going to be, because I think we've all had the same thought of putting a helmet on, right? And a million little dots poking at the same time to make it quick. I don't think that would work.
No, it's not going to work. Maybe for a box shape up, because literally just drawing in the line and then filling it in. But to do something soft and create hairlines and all that, nah, you can't get a machine to do the type of precision and nah, not at all.
Yeah, I think people will want the human element too, because I'm sure you talk to your people, I talk to my people. They like it's a bit of therapy for them as well, right? I've heard some crazy shit. I'm sure you have too.
I've seen people use rollers to try to do that. I see people using the lines, and I've seen some crazy stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I'm hoping that if they come out with a cure for hair loss, a pill or an injection, it would grow right over top of the SMP. So if you're watching this, listening to this, and you're thinking, well, what if they come out with a cure because the advances in technology?
They're not coming out with a cure. They've been.
I don't think they're going to either. But even if they did, SMP would not stop hair from growing. It's not going to stop these new hairs from growing, right? Because if you get a tattoo, there's still hair growing, right? You still has arm hair. I don't see why it would stop.
And if somebody does get that and their hair does grow, SMP helps so that it will look fuller. I got it in my beard. I got a full beard, but I just wanted it to look fuller in the little patchy areas, and I wanted that nice line. But I do have SMP in my beard.
Yeah, I see that, and I think Jesse did it, and I haven't seen it. It looks great. It looks really good because I've only seen a few beard SMPs, and it looks really, really good.
Shout out to Jesse. Thank you, my brother.
Another thing that I wanted to ask about is like your training. So are you still training people?
Oh yeah, we haven't stopped doing trainings, but these new SMP artists are killing the training. Like, I can't even say shout out to this guy, shout out to this guy. There's, they're 100% killing the industry. Like there's this dude in Texas, who is destroying the industry. He's training groups of people, and he's just horrible. Like if you look at his work, it just looks terrible. Like I don't understand how people, but again, there's good talkers, like there's a dude in Florida that's a good talker that sells ink. Work is horrible. You know what I'm saying? And this dude is talking people into getting trainings, and he's holding big trainings, but his work is horrible. I don't understand how people can look at his work and say, I want to get trained by this guy. A lot of see, when I was training big crowds, it was people who saw my work, some of the best work being put out, and they wanted to learn from the best. You know what I'm saying? Now it's like, I don't know, maybe the guy's just giving classes out for free, but I don't understand how he's doing anybody and doing big classes with doing work like that. But they're killing the industry, and they're probably giving it away and just, they're just definitely destroying the industry right now. The people who are holding those trainings. But I'm not gonna lie, I did it. When I first got into this industry, as soon as I got trained, I was already trying to train people. I was one of those guys. So I can't really talk. But now I talk because I am
you're on the other side now.
Yeah, I'm putting out firework. I'm consistent. I'm training people. If those if those students ever come into any problem, I already been there, done that, and I can help them get out of it. I can talk them through it the best that I can, you know. And but there's people getting trained that need training themselves. You know what I'm saying? That I don't understand. Like if their client messes up and they have questions how to fix it, they're gonna just talk a good game to get you out of it, but really don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, because they're not producing the results you kind of, would you trust them to do your own head? You know, that's how I would kind of think of it. Do you trust this person to do your own head or your parents' head or whoever the case?
Training has gone down a lot. You know what I'm saying?
But what I agree with what you're saying, that a lot of people are getting trained for cheap and they're not ready to really start working on people. But it does create a higher demand for experienced artists. You know, you're either going to fix it, send them to get lazier, whatever the case might, or they'll just be sought out more because they're like, well, this shit all looks terrible, so I'm gonna go to someone who's more established. Because most people are willing to spend the money because it's on their head. They want it to look good, right? So most people aren't going to be cheap. But you know, obviously, there's people out there who just can't afford it and they'll just take what they can get.
A lot of people are being cheap.
So you have obviously been successful. You've made a lot of progress. So now I see you traveling a lot. I saw you with Tony Giroux down in Colombia. How did that happen? When did you move to Colombia? Is it full time? What are you doing there?
Man, I love Tony. I love Giroux, man. They went out there and honestly, I've Scalp Micropigmentation and put me into a position where I literally travel 2 times a week. I go on vacation. I'm sorry, 2 times a month. I go on vacation. One of the places that I fell in love with is Colombia. You know, I love the people. It's just different. Out here in the States, it's like the food they give us is just horrible. The ingredients they put in it. The people, Americans, I'm proud to be American. I'm American 100% down to the bone, born and raised. I love America. Proud to be American. Woo! But I love Colombia. I love the people. I love the food. I love everything about Colombia. And, you know, I ended up buying a property out there.
Solid investment. Good for you, man. Congrats, for real.
You know, us as Americans, we don't get payment plans. I bought it like that, you know, and I look at it as my retirement home. I want to stack as much money as I can right now. And my goal is to live in Colombia full time, but for right now I'll do part time. I'm actually in the process of opening an office out there. Shout out to my boy Sebastian. You know, I wanna open up an office in Colombia. I wanna start taking people there. You know, the money, you know, compared to where I'm at, you know, I'm in Washington, D.C., Maryland, Virginia. The money I make here, you know, I could never make over there, but I would still work there just to make some money instead of nothing. But I do want to retire out there. I love everything about it. It's a beautiful country, beautiful people. And it's my retirement.
It helps you speak the language too.
Oh yeah.
It'd be hard for me. Do they, because you're American, I'm sure they can see that you're American, even though you're Latino. Do anybody trying to mess with you or give you a hard time or scam you?
I'm from the streets, you know what I'm saying? So they're not gonna scam me. If you're an easy target and you're down there doing drugs and drinking and they catch you slipping, then you have to watch out. But when I go out there, I'm just enjoying the weather, enjoying the food.
Yeah, you were showing videos of the condo you got, and you got a nice balcony.
Saw that view.
Yeah, it's great. And you have you were getting your TV or something installed, and I was like, damn, that place is nice. And you're down in Colombia. Yeah, why wouldn't you are you close to like a little village or town or something?
Yeah, so the average Colombian makes about $300 a month. So, you know, our money goes a lot further out there. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So, you know, right now I'm just trying to save as much as I can. I'm not trying to, you know, I've been the guy in the industry changing cars every month, jewelry, you know. I'm kind of past that. To me, honestly, I also want to say this. That to me, I tell people, was like a costume. You know what I'm saying? Of course, coming from where I come from, you want that. You want the jewelry. You want the $1,000 shoes. You want the flyest cars, the nicest cars. I'm past that. You know what I'm saying? I'm 38 years old. I just want to relax. I want to be happy, you know, which SMP is my happy place. Is when people ask me, what do you do for fun? I say scalp micropigmentation. They're like, no, what you like to do for fun? And I say scalp micropigmentation. It's art and it's something I truly enjoy doing, but I want to relax a little bit now. I got to the top of the game, you know, scalp micropigmentation. I'm at the top of the industry, you know what I'm saying? And I just want to relax. I don't want to relax too much because that's when other people start coming, you know, they want to come for that spot, but I'm just still working hard. And, but when I do retire, I most likely will retire in Colombia.
Congrats, man. That's a solid investment. And starting so young, you know, only 38, you know, you can really build a foundation down there and get some stuff going. Good for you. And you'll have an artist. Sebastian's going to be the artist down there.
Sebastian, yep. That's the goal, you know.
Okay, nice. And are you allowed to talk numbers? Do you think you'll have a good idea? Because, like, obviously things are a lot cheaper there. Do you have an idea of what the average cost is down there, or what it will be?
So out there is cheap. You know, it's
1,000 for a whole head, 900. 500?
I mean, as I said, the average Colombian makes 300. I'd rather make something than nothing when it comes to out there. But I'm in the U.S. to work, you know what I'm saying? And I go out there to relax. Yeah. But I do want to open an office and just see where it goes.
Okay.
I'm not sure about prices and all that. You know, if you were to really know the price, you'd probably be like, don't do it. Well,
I think it helps your brand. Yeah. So if you could get down there and start pushing your ink, that's where you'll make the money. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? More artists down there, or, you know, Brazil, the other neighboring countries, then that's how you'll, you know, just basically build up the brand.
Right.
Good for you, seriously. Because, and I agree with you, buying the cool cars and the clothes and stuff, that's fun in the beginning. Like we talked offline, people who grow up with no money, they want to buy things when they finally get money. They want to look good.
Oh, I got to give a quick shout out to Tame, the Art of SMP New York. That is another office that we do have. Yeah. You know, Tame is in New York killing it. I chose Tame to, you know, to be part of the family because I saw a lot in him that I saw in myself. And he's a go-getter. He's a hard worker, and definitely had to bring him a part of the family. So shout out to Tame.
That's great. That's great. And he does really good work. I was telling you offline about how I seen him do the shape ups and on the line and everything. If you were someone who just started, like an up and coming SMP artist, which I think a lot of who will be listening to this, what would you do? Like if you just kind of learned, you know, a couple months ago, what would you do to build yourself up, build your brand?
If I was getting into the industry
just now, 2025,
what would I tell myself?
Yeah,
or go into it,
or all these people who are learning now.
Man, I think you're gonna have to pay me for that, man.
We don't have to tell them the details.
No, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, I would, if I could tell myself getting into the industry, I would say, give it your all. Don't give up. You know, this industry will take you to a whole other level. It's going to be tough at first, just like everything in life. But if you stick in there and give it your all, you know, it's a long process. This is not you take a 3-day class and you're making hundreds of thousands of dollars. You know, you got to literally get in this industry. You got to want it. You got to believe in it. You got to invest in it. You got to be ready to give your last dollar, sell your home, sell your cars, sell everything to, you know, I mean, I'm just being honest, like you got to really want it. And I would say, if I could say, I would also say, don't try to be the flashy guy. Don't go broke trying to look rich, you know what I'm saying? Because I see a lot of SMP artists that are, you know, they see me and they see, you know, there's levels to it. When you get to my level, you're able to do stuff like that. But I regret a lot of the stuff that I did. Like, why did I have 6 cars at one time? You know what I'm saying? Like driving a different car every day of the week. You know, I had one of the biggest offices probably in the industry where literally I was...
You have multiple doors out there. Showing.
I was literally, this guy moves out, I'm taking it. This guy moves out, I'm taking it. You know what I'm saying? Just not to have anybody next to me for what? I literally, I'm not trying to be that guy. I'm just trying to, you know, if if I could tell my old self, I would say, don't spend all that money on dumb stuff. Save your money. Continue to give the industry your all. Practice, practice, practice. Take people for free. If you have to take people for free, that experience is worth more than the money. The money will come. Believe in it. You're going to fail, but you got to keep on going. You're going to mess people up, but that's part of it. Just keep learning. Also, travel. Learn from other artists. Don't just stick with one artist. Travel and look at other styles. Look who you like their style. Go train with them. Go watch them a few days. Now, don't go watch them for one day. Don't go watch them for 2 days. See if somebody will let you watch them for a week, and do it a few times and make mistakes, because making mistakes is where you're really going to learn. Make mistakes. I'm not telling you, mess them up and you're going to learn. No, give it your all. If you make a mistake, learn from it and then continue to grow, and don't give up. I was never the one to give up, and that's why in everything that I have done, I have been successful.
Agreed. Well said. Well said. I agree with all of that. Just keep going, people. If you're listening to this and you're a new artist and you're getting frustrated, right? People aren't coming in. Just keep doing the free, because those pictures, once you get a good pictures and you're doing well, that's just going to make you more money.
Also, real quick. And if you really want to grow in the industry, okay, and you have a website, you got reviews, you got before and afters, you're talking about the industry. I didn't, honestly, to be honest with you, when I first got into the industry, I never knew about paying for Google ads. I never did that as a barber. That's something I did learn with Scalp Micropigmentation. See, a lot of people don't know about Scalp Micropigmentation. You go talk to 10 people, maybe one has heard about Scalp Micropigmentation. Once I paid somebody to start doing ads for me, is when I had to change up answering my phone from yo to Scalp Micropigmentation. This is Chris. How can I help you?
Yep. I do the same thing.
So you do have to have some money to invest and a marketing team. Don't try to do it yourself. That's where your problem is.
Yeah, be careful with the Google will rape you. They'll just keep taking your money. Make sure you know what you're doing when you put that budget on there.
Yeah, and don't just if they say we can get you on the first page of Google, I wouldn't even, check them out. Make sure to go to a reputable company like Seven Figure SP.
Yeah, talk to people who have actually used it. Because I probably got 20 messages right now, on Instagram. Well, I can do this for you. A lot of them for other countries. We can make your SEO. There's so many scams out there. There are so many, and there's so many real companies that just are not that good, I'll say. So just be careful. Just be careful. Do your homework. Most people, especially if you're not in a competing city, will share some information with you.
Oh, and when I got into this industry, and we almost got in around the same time, nobody will give out any tips and tricks how to grow in this industry. Nobody. That was like, they kept it to themselves. I had to hit a lot of roadblocks when I got into the industry.
Yeah. Everything was a big secret. It was a big secret. Yeah, you got about a year on me, but that really propelled you. You really pushed you up. You got in at a good time, but it's still possible, people. You get in 2025, 2026, it's still in its infancy, because like Chris just said, most people don't even know what SMP is. They have no idea what it is. They don't know it's an option. I think, I've talked about this a few times before I think the big change is going to happen if we can somehow get these insurance companies to pay for SMP. It would change all of our lives. We'd all make a lot of money. You know what I mean? But they won't. A
lot of people ask that too if insurance takes it, but it's a tattoo.
Yeah. But I made the argument. I called the insurance company. I was like, what if the person's going bald, they're depressed, and they're thinking about suicide? Will we pay for it then? Nope. They don't give a fuck. They don't care. I don't know how we do. I was hoping when Will Smith, the whole slap thing, because his wife had the alopecia, I was hoping maybe that would bring awareness to it. Didn't happen, we need more we need A-list celebrities talking about SMP is what we need, because it would just help everybody. Like Chris was saying, and this is a little bit of a side note. So Chris kind of talked about how he has some haters. Whenever you're doing something really well, you get haters, right? So when you have haters, just ignore them and focus on yourself. focus on yourself and keep doing your own thing. Like he was talking about, don't try and be like other people. Just do your own thing, put out good work, and that's how you're going to eventually make more money.
Right. Be you, be real. There's too many people sounding like me out there.
Does it bother you?
I mean, if I work with them and I'm cool with them, if they're part of the family, I don't mind. But if you're somebody that's trying to, use all my words and stuff like that, it does bother me. Like I just don't like that. I just feel like it's fake.
Yeah. Yeah.
What I do, it comes from the heart. Even though, on Instagram, I'm kind of like that. What's up, SMP world? It's the art of SMP, the best, the most natural. But I act like that honestly as well. I want all the SMP artists to know because, people don't like when you say that. I say that because, first of all, I believe in myself. Second of all, it's because clients want to hear that. They're getting a hair tattoo. If I said, I'm an average SMP artist, I'm average, I'm cheap, they're not going to choose you, okay? I'm definitely confident in what I do. I've been in this industry a decade with almost a decade, 8 years, with a 25-year barber background. I'm very experienced. I'm great at what I do. I have a gift from God, and I don't care what anybody says about that.
A gift from God, but you honed in and practiced and made it better.
Oh, I put that work in 100%, but it was meant to be.
Yeah. What anything else you want to say to anybody out there in the SMP industry?
I would say if you're going to train with anybody, just make sure to do your research. If you're going to get SMP done, I don't know if potential clients are going to get this done, make sure to do your research. This industry and this procedure can change your life, or it could be the worst thing you ever did. It can be a bad investment. It can be a great investment. You know what I'm saying? So just do your research. Don't give up. You know what I'm saying? And stick in there. And that's with anything in life. It doesn't even just have to be a scalp micropigmentation. Anything you do, give it your all.
Agreed. If somebody wants SMP or to train with you, what's all your contact information? How can they find you?
At the Art of SMP on Instagram, on Facebook, Cash App.
Hit them up.
Yeah. At the Art of SMP, shout out again to the Blends Protein. Mad love for all of you guys, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Tame, SMP, the Art of SMP New York, and shout out to everybody pushing this industry forward. Let's continue to push this industry forward, giving the best, most natural results, giving this industry our all.
Agreed. Thank you. Thanks for doing this, Chris. Thanks for having me down. Thank you. All right, that's a wrap.
Daddy.